Today we're going to talk about some properties. The first one is the commutative property, and it works for both multiplication and addition, and you've used this a long time, just maybe you never knew the name of it, and it's where you change the order. So when you change the order, and this really should be an equal sign right here instead of a plus sign. So a plus b is the same as b plus a, and you can also use it in multiplication. So when you're looking to see if the commutative property is applied, look and check the order. The second one is the associative property, and again it worked for both multiplication and addition. It's where you change the grouping. Think of who you're associating with as who you're hanging out with, so who you're grouped with. So here you notice the order is the same, A, B, C, but here A and B are being added first, and here B and C are being added, so the parentheses have changed. So once you check the order, then check and see if there's anything that's happened to the grouping, or who's hanging out together. We have additive identity, and that basically says if you add 0 to some number, you're going to get that number back again. So again, you've used this forever, you just didn't know a name of it. So adding 0, you get the same thing. Well, multiplicative identity says if you multiply a number by 1, you get that same number back. Multiplicative property of 0, when you multiply by 0, you get 0. Multiplicative inverse, and you maybe know it more as reciprocal, if you multiply a number and its inverse, you get 1. So this would be an example, like if you're going to take 2/3 times the inverse of 2/3 would be, our reciprocal would be 3/2. And what do you get when you multiply those? Well, everything's going to cancel and you're going to end up with 1. So that's the multiplicative inverse property. So part of what we're doing here is just looking and seeing what's happened. So like I said, I like to check the order first. So I just say the order without doing any numbers or signs. 3, 2, 4, 3, 4, 2, and I notice the order is different. Okay, so once the order changed, then you know that is commutative. So C-O-M-M-U-T-A. Notice there's no N in this. And then you do need of some operation. So this one is of addition. So if you want to just put of a plus sign, that's fine, or add, or something like that. So even though it's parentheses, but the same numbers are in there, it's just their order that has changed. Number 2, when you see a 1, that's probably going to be a biggie that gives it away to you. Multiplicative identity, because you're multiplying by 1. So multiplicative, you can kind of sound it out. And if you want to abbreviate identity, you can. I don't want you to abbreviate the main words. Number 3, what are we doing? We're multiplying by 0 and get 0, so that's multiplicative property of 0. So multiplicative, and again, I usually use the word property out. You can put it in if you want. So multiplicative property of 0. All right, again, say the order, 3, 5, 6, 3, 5, 6. So the order is the same. So then I would look at my parentheses, and notice here I have a 5 and 6, and here I have a 3 and 5. So who's associating together has changed. So it's associative, A-S-S-O-C-I-A-T-I-V-E, and it is multiplication. It's supposed to be an E there. So multiplication. An example of additive identity. Well, we're going to need some number, 17. Additive, so we know we're going to add, and we want to get the identical thing back, 17. So what can you add to 17 to get the identical thing? 0. Now one reason we're learning these properties so we can use them to make math easier. So here in number 6, I want to add these numbers. Well, normally we've learned order of operation, all addition and subtraction work left to right. But you use these properties, which says commutative, says you can change the order if they're all addition. So I'm going to look at grouping things that might be easy to add, because 8 and 2 end in 0 when you add them. So 18 and 12 is 30, 8 and 2 is 10, and so I end up with 40. And these are problems I don't really care if you write down steps, because I want you to find an easy way to do it. So like in this one, I'm probably going to multiply 5 times 2 first, which is 10, and it's pretty easy to multiply 34 by 10, you get 340. So here would be an example of when I don't want you to show work, which is very unusual. Again, we're looking for some easy way to do it. Well, in adding fractions, you need to have a common denominator, so I'm going to look at these guys. 3/4 and 1/4 is 4/4, which is the same as 1. 7 plus 2 is 9, 9 plus 1 is 10, so I get 10 for that part. Now I'm going to look at adding these. The 3/5 and 2/5 is 1. 3 plus 1 is 4, plus that extra one we had was 5, and then 10 plus 5 is 15. So you're looking to add those things together by finding easy steps to do that.